Both. Depends on the country, I guess. Probably city condo. Dealing with happy people. I don't consider it a talent. I consider it like a hobby. I like to paint rocks. Let's see, I've been in Vegas since 1978. I purchased my first property at the age of 18, fresh out of high school, and fell in love with real estate and was an investor where I would buy, flip, hold, and do all those type of things. Back in 1986, when I purchased my first property, there wasn't the classes and the coaching that we have today, so it was all done by trial and error. This is the 5th company that I've owned and operated. I owned a pest control company before, and I grew it into 3 different states. That's it. As a real estate agent, I got my license back in 2010 as an agent, and I did like 17 transactions myself. And then brokers would come out of the woodwork asking me what was going on and how I was doing so much transactions, because other people that had been in the industry didn't know how to navigate what industry we were in at the time, which was a bunch of REOs and short sales at the time. And it was just me networking and my background in investing and how I would do those transactions and help people be stronger and better after real estate collapse. I didn't really have many challenges as a real estate agent myself. I've been very successful in all my years. I guess just weaving in and out of transactions and dealing with the other side that maybe not had all the parts that they needed and was equipped, maybe. God, absolutely God. Yes, I had mentors, I have coaches. I still have them today, where I have my regional owner as a coach, and I even have my CEO for Exit Corp International as a coach and a mentor. I have my best friend who has been an entrepreneur and a owner and a head of a company, a Fortune 500 company, so I have her. And I have my parents that I lean on for advice because they owned and operated 2 companies, and they sold them successfully, and now they've been retired for 30 years. So those are my mentors. That's a loaded question. Being in the industry of real estate, you have to have your own self-motivation. Nobody else can motivate you, right? So my motivation is now, as a broker owner, my motivation is helping my other agents become successful in their own careers and educating them and coaching them. So that's what gives me life every day. I shouldn't have gotten into it. No, I'm teasing. Let's see. I'm not really sure what my biggest lesson was. Each transaction is a lesson all on its own. I'll give you a perfect example from today. I was coaching another agent in our office that was doing a reverse mortgage, and she wasn't really sure of how to do that. So I gave her some checks and balances of what to do. With a reverse mortgage, that's where somebody owns a house and they don't have to pay a mortgage payment anymore. It's really great for people that are 62 and older. Well, this circumstance happened to be, the person had died, and now their heir is living in the house and not keeping up with the maintenance of the property, like taxes and insurance and HOA and things of that nature. And the person that passed away 6 months ago, and nothing's been done. Now the bank is foreclosing. So I had asked her what she's done, and the first thing I told her, I said, you need to find out what the balance of that loan mortgage is first, because if it's upside down, then the heirs won't get any money anyway. So come to find out, the house was worth about $370,000 to $400,000, and the mortgage now is about $429,000. So it doesn't make sense to sell it. The bank is just going to take it back. So as an example, that's just a learning lesson that I teach with agents of what to do. I do. I have a memorable one. Just in talking about reverse mortgages, this is a great transition. I helped a lady about a year ago. She was selling her house in Hawthorne, Nevada, and she was going to net about $200,000, and she wanted to pay cash for something. And here in Vegas, even a year ago, you couldn't pay anything for $200,000. And even if there was something, it wasn't something that I would be comfortable in putting her in, because she was like my grandma. So I said, well, why don't we talk about a reverse mortgage? And there's a lot of bad hype about reverse mortgages and how bad they are. And I said, why don't you just have an open mind, have a conversation with my lender in my office, and let's see what can happen. And come to find out, she said, yeah, this is a great program. We bought her house, and she didn't have to use all $200,000. She only had to come in with about $160,000. So she had the extra money to do whatever what she went. So I consider that a success story. A most recent one just happened a couple of weeks ago, where I helped a first-time home buyer and their kids be from an apartment into a house, and that just happened, and that just brings smiles to my faces. Oh, that's easy. A homeless person was living in the house, so I had to kick him out. Well, everybody thinks that the interest rates are going to go down, and I've been in this industry for over 30 years, maybe not as an agent, but as an investor, and I read the market and I read the stats and what's going on. And the last 25 years or 20 years, our interest rate was low, right? It was very low, under 4%. Now we're seeing the interest rates grow up to 6 and 7%. Yes, the Fed's just lowered it at 1/4 of a point, but that's not going to move the needle anyway. But interest rates, where we're at, is here to stay. So if you can buy and do it now, you're better off doing it now. Prices are going to be coming down. Are they going to come down where we saw them in 2010? Most likely not, because the reason is that the mortgage bank lending institutions have tightened up their lending criteria, making sure that all their I's are dotted and the T's are crossed and things of that nature, and people are making the money. We're not going to have the onset of the downturn in the real estate market like we saw in 2010, 11, and 12, or even in 07. So we're here to stay. Interest rates are here to stay. People are still moving and selling. When I purchased my first property, the interest rate was 12.5%. When my parents purchased, when we moved here in 78, the interest rate was 19.78%. So people are buying and selling every day. They can call me on my phone. They can connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or all the social media sites. I want to build my organization, Exit Realty, number one, to have the best possible agents, that they're happy, they're healthy, their family is good, and their clients are happy as well.